Cowboys. I'm sorry, man. Y'all gonna have to be mad at me, bro. Y'all are not about to make me change my mind about the dude that I've been watching play quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys for the last 7 years, 8 years if you count the injured year. Bro, I am starting a new segment on this channel. Every Tuesday after we get a chance to hear from Jerry Jones on the weekly radio station. And it's going to be called Jerry Jones Said What? And I'm going to make the most clickbait title possible, bro. Because this is gold. This is a lot of stuff that we need to dig into. The main thing is we may have a CeeDee Lamb problem. I'm going to kind of discuss that a little bit further in just a second. And then we're going to go ahead and jump into that topic. Later on, we're also going to discuss the fact that Jerry, he don't want nothing to do with the talks about Dak Prescott not being the franchise QB of the Dallas Cowboys, bro. This is a lot to discuss, and let's dive right into it with Jerry Jones's comments about CeeDee Lamb and whether or not he wants his issues to be resolved necessarily.
Jerry, why do you think CeeDee Lamb is as frustrated as it appeared he was on the sideline on Sunday?
Well, because he likes to kick the ball. I've never met any receiver worth his salt that wasn't frustrated if he didn't get a lot of attempts come his way. Ever.
Is that something that needs to be a function of Dak getting him the ball, or is that something that you guys need to scheme up and involve him more in the game plan?
If you could get to every receiver 7 and 5 attempts a game, they'd be happier.
So but you would like to see him get more involved, right?
I'm saying I don't know about that. What I want to see us do is I want to see the right combination of running. I want to see the right combination of throws. I like seeing that ball go to Turpin on that play. I like seeing balls go to tight ends.
Okay, that was a lot, especially after knowing that CeeDee Lamb made these comments after the game on Sunday.
What's the identity of this offense?
I don't know.
Should you 5 weeks into the season?
I guess so. I don't know.
How do you guys find it?
I don't know.
And understanding that Mike McCarthy has come out and said that he has had a conversation with CeeDee Lamb about his frustrations, and essentially it boils down to CeeDee wants the ball more, right? Jerry doesn't really feel like that should be the case, and that is very, very interesting. And I think that there's kind of a point to be made with that because, for one, they did go out and get Brandon Cooks. 2, they need to see what does Michael Gallup have left because it don't look like a lot. And at some point, they need to go ahead and sell high with Michael Gallup because his stock is falling. It's falling by the day. So they need to either understand what he is and package him in a trade, or keep him on the team and think that he can really be a contributor to a Super Bowl winning team. CeeDee Lamb, I don't know how this is fixed. Him and Dak may have to go out for some dinners together, go to Top Golf, go to the batting cages, man. I don't know, go to a rage room. I don't know, they may need to just spend some time together is my point, and get more on the same page and kind of develop that Romo Witten type of relationship, because to this point, Dak doesn't really seem to have that type of relationship with any of his receivers. I mean, him and Amari were cooking. I still think that was a huge mistake. I don't know to this day why we let go of Amari Cooper, because he still has been largely pretty healthy with the Cleveland Browns and been pretty productive, bro. And I think he could be even more productive with the Dallas Cowboys. And I think CeeDee would be even more productive, because I do believe CeeDee Lamb is a number 1 receiver, but I think he's like a 1B. I think he's like a receiver that's like a fringe number 1, and in a pinch, he can definitely fill in for a number 1, and in certain games, he can feel like a number 1, but as far as his presence and his consistency and his precision and staying engaged on his routes and running full speed on his routes and actually selling to the DBs covering him on his side of the field and the people looking at him on the side of the field that he's actually going to be getting the ball on that play and making it a little bit easier for everyone else on the field, because that's what the best receivers do. They're a threat every single play because they legitimately are. They need to develop some type of chemistry where Dak can look at CeeDee and it's like a look of like, all right, freestyle, you got 3 seconds. You got 3 seconds. I'm going to give you 3 seconds max. It might really be 2.5. And I'm going to throw the ball to you wherever you at on the field and you better catch this ball. They may have to develop some type of relationship like that because it doesn't seem like, from a management standpoint, we all know how hands-on Jerry Jones likes to be. We know from a management standpoint and from a coaching and scheme standpoint, it doesn't seem like CeeDee is going to be featured like his constituents and Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson and these other guys. He's not going to be put in that type of offense with the Dallas Cowboys to where he can be that featured receiver and I guess live up to what he believes he can really be. Will that really become a problem? There's a chance. I mean, we still got contract negotiations, I believe, with CeeDee. I know we locked up Trayvon. I think we have to do CeeDee this year, after this season for sure. That could come up, and that could be an issue, man. So that may be something to keep an eye on as Dallas Cowboys fans, is continue to keep an eye on how engaged CeeDee Lamb really seems with the team and what's going on the field, bro. Because if we see this trend continue throughout the year, there's a very big possibility that we may not see a number 88 on the Dallas Cowboys because they may not like his demeanor, his disposition. Like, let's just call it what it is, because Jerry had a very serious tone throughout this whole phone call. I listened to the whole thing. He had a very serious tone, and he wanted to make some things very, very clear. And the main things, even like the host said on the fan, I know I'll give him a hard time, but they nailed this at the end of this as far as what they pretty much took from this. And it was Jerry wanted to be serious, and he wanted to come out and immediately squash any narratives that fans may be trying to drum up, that all the over emotional people out there in Cowboys Nation may be trying to drum up as far as there's a quarterback controversy or there's a coaching controversy, because nothing's happening. All right, so CeeDee, let's keep an eye on that, but let's move on to the next topic, man. And we heard the host ask a question about Mike McCarthy and whether or not play calling duties would be handed over at any point, or if that pressure was going to come from the upper management and be like, hey, Mike, we need to see some changes. Jerry was very, very clear. Let's take a listen.
Jerry, when you talk about, we're going to eventually see stuff down the field, things are going to click into place. It sounds obviously like...
Wait a minute. I'm saying that it's capable of being there.
Okay.
Let's be real clear. It's very capable of being there. Are we going to try to get it there? You bet we are. And we should. Have we gotten this team since, let's say, Kellen Moore left? Have we gotten this team in a place that can do better than we did against the 49ers? You bet we do. Should we change at this juncture back to where we were this time last year? No, we should not. We should go with the kinds of things that we've been working on. We should recognize that we had a very bad outing, and San Francisco had a very good outing. We should recognize that and call it what it is and not mislead ourselves. But as far as sitting here saying that we should completely change out the towels here, that's not even in the cards. And it's really ridiculous.
Okay, Jarrett, well then when you say that specifically there, you mentioned Kellen Moore and you shouldn't go back.
First of all, you couldn't do it if you wanted to.
Jerry, he did it once before in Green Bay. Have you thought about or talked with Coach, or is it an option in your mind to have Coach McCarthy let Schottenheimer take over the play calling to manage the games as the CEO?
No, in any way, no.
So, with that being said, it seems like Jerry is like, Mike, this is your year. And I think that Jerry's doing this on purpose. And y'all got to think about it. If this is really going to be Mike McCarthy's last season, which I think most of us really believe that unless he has more success than the Cowboys have seen in the last 2 decades this season, this is probably his last year as the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys. You got to think about it. This is Jerry Jones really giving him a fair shot and being like, nah, this is Mike wanted Kellen gone. Mike said he can do a better job situational play calling. And this is what people got to understand. Dak Prescott had a quote-unquote higher ceiling in Kellen Moore's offense as far as the type of quarterback that the modern NFL fan wants to see with the big numbers and everything else like that. We saw him do it. We saw him lead the #1 offense, and we saw him do it. We saw him put up 400 or 500-yard passing games. We have seen him do it. We've seen him score 5 touchdowns in a single game. We have literally seen him do it, oh, by the way, in the playoffs against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. But this is not going to be a situation where Jerry is going to rob Mike McCarthy of his last hurrah, his last real chance to show Jerry, like, hey, this is really my vision for the team and what we're trying to do. And I think we as fans got to realize we're also in week 5. This was the first week that we had our full offensive line playing. And if you watched some of the film, then you would see that there were some miscommunication issues on the offensive line where it seemed like the guards and the center may not have been on the same page. There were situations where you could tell this was the first time that full offensive line was playing. And while talent-wise and skill-wise, they may be the best options we have for sure. But that time and that cohesion, offensive line is one unit. The offensive line is 5 men on that line, but it's really one unit. That's one cohesive unit. And that communication and that flow is going to have to take time to develop. And I think if everybody can stay healthy, Lord, if everybody can stay healthy, Tyron, I'm looking at you, bro, because you're the most likely candidate to be, Tyron's knee hurting. Oh, he gone for 2 weeks. So I'm looking at you, Tyron. But if everyone can stay healthy, we're going to see the offensive line really, really be throwing everyone off the ball like Tyler Smith did to Fred Warner in that game. That was probably the most satisfying thing I've seen the Dallas Cowboys do against the 49ers, was see Tyler Smith chunk Fred Warner 15 yards across the field. Mwah. That was absolutely beautiful. But beyond that, man, Mike McCarthy, this is your year. This is on you. We're not going to see any head coaching changes. We're not going to see any play calling changes. We're not going to see, or play caller changes, I should say. And we're not going to see any schematic changes, because Jerry also addressed that in saying that you don't see that in the middle of the season. It's just not reasonable. It's not going to happen. That's fan talk. That's not something that's reasonable for an organization to do, is have a whole schematic change in the middle of the season and think that that's going to work and be more successful than the thing you worked all summer on installing. It's not going to happen. So fans, we got to get that out of our minds as well. All right. So beyond that, we already know Mike McCarthy, he's safe. He's not going anywhere. We already know CeeDee Lamb, you're going to be mad. That might be a problem in the near future. But we do need to know what Jerry thinks about Dak Prescott. And he had a lot to say.
Jerry, you mentioned that we have the quarterback. You know, in the past few years, you've changed out Linehan and Kellen and Coach Garrett. Why all these changes and the results are still the same? Why are you so convinced that the quarterback is the guy?
No, the results are very obvious. We haven't won a Super Bowl. We've had good. Would you agree that we've had good games over the years?
Absolutely.
Okay, and we've had some bad games. Do you know any team that hasn't had that happen to them?
Nope.
Now, consequently, I will say that we haven't gotten our big years when we should have. We've been real close a few times and haven't gotten our big years. That's not excuses. That's not anything. But if you think for 1 minute that there's any particular thing that I could put my finger on that basically says we need to do that differently, we need to do that differently, then it's combinations of things. Dak Prescott is a quarterback that can get us to the Super Bowl, and that's the way that's going to be. We have other quarterbacks on that roster, and players that certainly, if something should happen to Dak, but I want to be real clear, Dak's very capable of making this team be where we want it to go.
Now, see, this was kind of interesting to me because Jerry Jones made it a point to make it very, very clear that Dak Prescott is not going anywhere. The plan for all the other quarterbacks on the roster, as it pertains to Dak Prescott, is for them to be his backup. That is the plan in case something happens. Jerry Jones made it very, very, very clear that he believes that he has the quarterback that is fully capable of leading his team to a Super Bowl in the fashion that he wants his team to be led to a Super Bowl. And that's the thing. Jerry Jones has his fingerprints all over this thing, and he does want it to be done in his way. This is the whole reason that the whole thing happened with, the whole Ring of Honor, and everybody wants a certain person to be put in. That's the whole reason for that. Is Jerry wants things done his way, and he feels like Dak Prescott is capable of doing that. And I believe in number 4. I believe in my quarterback. And y'all not going to take my spirit from me. I don't care how much y'all try. I don't care how many comments y'all drop. Y'all not taking my spirit from me, man. Jerry Jones is on my side. And that's all that matters. It's just Jerry Jones is on my side. Though I'm not sure morally how much of a thing to brag about that is. Let's be honest. But the point stands, man. Dak Prescott is that dude. Dak Prescott is our quarterback. The plan is to have Dak Prescott here. I can tell you right now by the tone that was set in that interview, it would take Dak Prescott to have, week 5, it would take him to have 12 more games, just like the one he just had against San Francisco 49ers, for Jerry Jones to pretty much be like, nah, we're going a different direction. Chances are Dak Prescott is not only our quarterback this year, but for the next couple of years. And I'm going to be honest, man, at this point, it's like a question you got to ask yourself. If you call yourself a Cowboys fan and you want to support your team, that includes supporting your quarterback, because you want your quarterback to be successful, so then your team can be successful, so you can feel good at the end of the night, bro. And you don't give up on that week by week. You have your temper tantrums at the end of the season like a regular fan does, because that's when everything is over and you don't have a chance to make things right. So you have your temper tantrums at the end of the season, and you say everything you need to say about somebody during the off season, and then you come back the next season, you put your fan hat back on, and you go in that stadium and you cheer for your team again, or you get in front of that couch and you cheer for your team again, right? That's what it means to be a fan. If you're a fan of the Cowboys, it seems like at least for the next couple to maybe few years, Dak Prescott is going to be here. So root for your quarterback, or just say you're not a fan of the Cowboys and Dak Prescott made you leave, and start rooting for a new team. And I'm not saying that in a rude way or like a get out of here, go back to your own country type of way. I'm not saying that in that type of way. I'm saying it in a way of that's the reality of it. That's what we just heard from the owner of the Dallas Cowboys. Unless something happens, God forbid anything happens to this man, right? Some of y'all might feel differently, but that's messed up and you need to go see somebody about that. But God forbid anything happens, that's going to be the case. Dak is going to be here. This is Mike McCarthy's last year to prove that he deserves to be here. And Jerry Jones is giving that man a fair shot at that. And this could potentially be a major year as it pertains to the chemistry and shakeups that could happen on the Cowboys roster as it pertains to Dak's weapons. Because again, we have not seen him develop that Witten Romo type of connection with anybody where he just feels comfortable going to them over and over and over again. And CeeDee is not providing that for him. And I'm gonna be honest, and it's not a shot at CeeDee. This could be something that's honestly rubbing his teammates the wrong way. When you're standing away from everybody and you're not engaged with the rest of the team and all this other stuff, that could be something that's rubbing his teammates the wrong way. So there's a lot that needs to be analyzed here, and it's not just all on the quarterback. Dak Prescott had a bad game. Like Jerry said in this interview, every team has bad games. We're not going to act like it's just my team. Jerry seemed frustrated, man. And I'm frustrated too, because y'all be doing too much, man. Cowboys Nation, man. Pick up your sacks. Pick up your skirts. Get them out the mud, man. And root for your team. Boys and girls. Because y'all acting like boys and girls. When we start acting like real fans, I call y'all men and women. But right now, we acting like kids, y'all. We got to quit being so damn emotional and stop trading on our team every time we lose, man. We don't see Bills fans doing that. They throwing themselves through tables and stuff to prove their loyalty to their team. What we doing? Talking smack every time they lose. Trading on people. I will say, though, Micah Parsons, bro, come on, man. You got to chill with these podcasts after big losses like this, bro. That's just, the optics is crazy. It's hard to make people not emotional when they see you on the podcast chilling and stuff, bro. I thought we just got railroaded like that. It make fans feel like y'all care less than they care. And that may be the case in certain situations, but, like, come on, bro. Like, it's the optics, man. Like, we get it, bro. You trying to build your brand and stuff, but you don't have to build your brand like that, bro. Cowboys Nation will build your brand for you. We'll build your brand for you, bro. Cowboys Nation is international, bro. If you go out there and ball out like the monster that you are, Micah, Cowboys Nation is going to make you a legend like you never could have done yourself. They're going to create myths and stories about how you went out to Dallas and you lifted the ball off the building and rolled it down the lane like it was a bowling ball and just broke down all the buildings, and that's how they made room to build all the new construction. They're going to make all the craziest myths about you, Micah Parsons. You don't got to do it yourself, man. Get off the podcast, bro. Get off the podcast. Leave it to people like us, man. We got to make some money too, bro. If all y'all doing all the athletics and all the other stuff, y'all already making millions doing that. Now y'all trying to steal our lane to make millions? Come on, Michael. We jealous a little bit, but at the same time, it's also optics. Chill out. You know what I'm saying? But either way, hopefully y'all enjoyed this episode of Jerry Said What. I'll see y'all next week on Tuesday. The same energy, same format. Same type of conversations about what Jerry Jones is talking about with his team. And I know I've been hard on a local radio station. I still don't like how some of y'all approach radio and what y'all do. I'm going to be honest. I'm not going to sit here and be that guy. But for the large part, y'all do a pretty decent job sometimes when y'all not being overly emotional and just talking outside of y'all ass. But anyway, till next time, how about them Cowboys?